Get on the ground! Now! Hey! I said get on the ground!
What just happened? Why was the young man not answering to the calls? The military thought he was a terrorist, and so they shot him, only to find out later on that he was deaf. That could have been me. That could have happened to me because I am hard of hearing and come from Cameroon, a nation with 10 regions that have been in conflict since 2016, with this conflict focused on its 2 English-speaking regions. It began with a peaceful protest by the Anglophone lawyers and teachers asking for reforms in the legal and educational systems. This protest grew into violent revolt, with some groups asking for an independent English Cameroon. The situation worsened, with some armed groups known as the Amber Boys fighting the Cameroon military. For 8 years, these regions have been in constant violence and chaos. Beyond killings, we have widespread rape, kidnappings, theft, abduction that have destroyed lives. Homes are burned, families turned apart, and villages in ruins. Personally, I've had my fair share of this torment. It was an ordinary day as I walked home after a tiring day seeking university admissions. Suddenly, I noticed a young man in the distance. He looked unkempt and busy, but I couldn't tell what he was doing. So in curiosity, I walked closer, only to find out too late I had walked myself into my own abduction. He pointed a gun at me, seized my bag, and dragged me into a dark room. Inside, I recognized familiar faces. They had bruises all over their bodies, with their sorrowful faces telling me they had been crying for a very long time. Some laid down unconscious. I can only imagine how many had died after going through such torment. Just like them, I was beaten. I was tortured. After what felt like my world had finally come to an end, I managed to escape the chaos, leaving behind a place that had once been home, into uncertainty, where 1 meal per day was luxury. The floor became my bed, and despair was my blanket. Under such conditions, I could not survive, talk less of grow. So I made the hard decision to return to our war-stricken region. One peculiar aspect about the war in our region is the phenomenon of ghost towns. It is very similar to COVID-19 we all experienced, where businesses and offices were locked down and everyone expected to stay indoors. Well, in our case, ghost towns are a peaceful form of protest that can last for months. It was during such a period that I discovered my passion in fashion design. So I learned in a workshop that operated behind closed doors during such periods. Ghost towns gave me enormous time to practice. And while others were being distracted by the sound of gunfire during ghost towns, I stayed focused. Guess why? Because I am hard of hearing. Despite these benefits, there are several setbacks for being deaf in a war region. I can vividly remember it was harvest season when I noticed the plum tree beside our house was heavy with ripe fruits. Unable to resist, I climbed up to pluck them. And when I looked down from the branches, I noticed the streets were deserted and silent. But the temptation of the fresh-looking fruits kept me busy and distracted. So I went on, humming a tune and plucking the plums. When I climbed down the tree and tried to enter the compound, I noticed it was locked. That was so unusual. I knocked. No one responded. I persisted, and a neighbor cautiously opened the gate. Her face was pale. Her voice was shaking. And she pulled me inside and asked, "What were you doing outside? Can't you hear the sound of gunshot?" Well, it turns out while I was up there having the best moment of my life, There was a gun battle happening nearby, and there I was, unaware, plucking plums like I was in the safest place on earth. It was only after coming to Kanthari that I realized the deaf and hard of hearing are vulnerable in war zones. I equally realized one thing: deafness is not always a disability. It is with this that I want to establish an organization, Mandril Alert. The name is inspired. Thank you. The name is inspired by the mandrill, an ape which is common to the African rainforest. It alerts members of its colony through screaming, vibrating, and use of signals to communicate. And just like the mandrill, we want to alert deaf people in war regions of danger while equipping them with entrepreneurial and life-saving skills. The main goal of our 3 interventions is to ensure the safety of deaf persons in war regions at all times. Our first intervention is the wristband alert system. This is a device designed to alert deaf people of danger in war region. At the Empower Conference held at the National Institute of Speech and Hearing here in Trivandrum on the 17th of October, we collaborated with several assistive technology experts to develop the core principles of this device. And keeping in mind the needs of deaf people in my country, we finalized a device that does not require internet connectivity to transmit information. This device would alert its users through vibration and colors. The colors are inspired by the colorful facial features on the face of a mandrill. The red color would signal danger. In moments of gunshot, bombing, explosion, the red color would pop up to alert the deaf user of danger and direct them into safety. The next color, sky blue, would alert the user by popping up to show insecurity. In moments of ghost town, where it is not safe to walk along the streets, the sky blue color would pop up to tell the deaf user to stay indoors. The white color would pop up to signal serenity, peace, and security. My very heartfelt desire is that the white color pops up forever. But then, we must be prepared for the worst. While the design and functionality of this device has been outlined, the development is still ongoing. Our next intervention is training in sign language. And I'll be the first student because I don't know sign language myself. So through empowering the deaf community and their family members and loved ones with communication skills in sign language, we want to facilitate the process of critical coordination during dangerous moments in war zones. And we have training in fashion designing. Fashion designing is a visual act. It does not require auditory means to transmit information. So through fashion designing, we want to empower the deaf community with a skill that keeps them productive and safe in a region like ours. The deaf may be silent, yet their creativity speaks volumes. As a hard of hearing designer, I am privileged to have trained several individuals in fashion designing. Guess what? And now, I am proud to work with silent yet powerful contributors whose talent and resilience shape our society. To show you a glimpse of our activities, we want to present to you the Mandril Alert Fashion Show! And with a round of applause, let us welcome on stage, all the way from Uganda, Timothy! Majestically walking. And to join him on stage, we're going to welcome Karen all the way from Kenya! To grace our stage, we're going to welcome our organizers of the occasion, Charlotte from France and Anand from India. With a round of applause, please.
Zero distractions, we're locked in our zone, turning empty spaces into our throne. Invisible barriers, we shatter that frame, transform the silence, ignite our own flame. From darkness we rise, sharp as the night. Jungle instincts burn fierce and bright. No compromise, no time to chill. Pure concentration, that's our skill. Mandril Alert. We design loud when the world goes quiet. Mandril Alert. Our passions are riots, can't deny it. Stay focused, stay hungry, claim your space. Creativity blazing at breakneck pace. From empty streets, watch innovation spark. We light up the silence, leave our mark.
Thank you, thank you.